Chapter 5 Ancient Rome and the Rise of Christianity. Chapter 5, Section 1 The Roman World Takes Shape. Rome's civilization arises in Italy. The Italian peninsula is centrally located in the Mediterranean Sea, and the city of Rome sits towards the center of Italy. X marks the spot where Rome developed. By 800 BCE, the ancestors of the Romans, called the Latins, migrated into Italy. The Latins settled along the Tiber River in small villages scattered over 7 low-lying hills. Their villages would in time grow together into Rome, the city on 7 hills. Legend held that twin brothers Romulus and Remus had founded the city. Romans regarded this tale highly because the twins were said to be sons of a Latin mother and the war god Mars, lending the Romans a divine origin. The Romans shared the Italian peninsula with other peoples. The Etruscans lived mostly north of Rome. One theory says they migrated from Asia Minor, while another suggests they came from the Alps. The Etruscans ruled much of central Italy, including Rome itself. The Romans learned much from the Etruscan civilization. They adapted the alphabet that the Etruscans had earlier required from the Greeks. The Romans also learned from the Etruscans to use the arch in construction, and they adapted Etruscan engineering techniques to drain marshy lands along the Tiber. As well, the Romans adopted some Etruscan gods and goddesses and merged them with Roman deities. The Romans drove out their Etruscan ruler in 509 BCE. This date is traditionally considered to mark the founding of the Roman state, which would last 500 years. The Romans established their state with a form of government called in Latin a res publica, or that which belongs to the people. In this form of government, which today we call a republic, the people chose some of the officials. A republic, Romans thought, would prevent any one individual from gaining too much power. In the early republic, the Senate made the laws and controlled the government. Originally, its 300 members were all patricians, or members of the land-holding upper class. Each year, the senators nominated 2 consuls from the patrician class. Their job was to supervise the business of government and command the armies. In the event of war, the Senate might choose a dictator, or ruler who has complete control over a government. Each Roman dictator was granted power to rule for 6 months. At first, all government officials were patricians. Plebeians, the farmers, merchants, and artisans, who made up most of the population, had the legal rights of citizenship, but little influence. Plebeian demands for power shaped politics in the early republic. In time, the plebeians gained the right to elect their own officials, called tribunes, to protect their interest. The tribunes could veto or block laws that they felt were harmful to plebeians. Little by little, plebeians forced the Senate to choose plebeians as consuls and to admit plebeians as members of the Senate itself. These changes made Rome's government more democratic. Another breakthrough for the plebeians came in 450 BCE, when the government oversaw the inscription of the laws of Rome on 12 tablets, which were set up in the Forum, Rome's marketplace. 2,000 years later, the framers of the United States Constitution would adapt such Roman ideas as the Senate, the veto, and checks on political power.